Then Jorge Bonifacio, followed by Mike Moustakas and Salvador Perez. Lucas Duda, whose bat work you praised before the game, will hit fifth and protect Salvi and hit in front of Hunter Dozier. How about the starting pitcher for the Chicago White Sox and Reynaldo Lopez, a guy who averages in the mid-90s, Hud.
Yep, Reynaldo Lopez, he's no secret in what he has. He's going to come at these guys with a lot of fastballs. Just be ready to hit him. He's strong. He's on 7 days rest. That allows the pitcher, who normally has 5 days rest, to be a little bit strong. And so what they're doing is they're trying to limit the innings of some of the White Sox pitchers by giving them some extra rest. And Lopez is going to be a nice addition, or he has been a nice addition. He's going to mix in some changeups and sliders too.
Yeah, because they were rebuilding, and when they traded Adam Eaton to the Washington Nationals, that was kind of the start. And of course, Chris Sale going to the Boston Red Sox was a continuation of that, where they were saying, we are not dealing with the right now, we are dealing with the future. And they were able to pick up Lucas Giolito, Reynaldo Lopez, and Dane Dunning from Washington, 3 young pitchers. Dunning still in the minor leagues, but like you said, Hud, they have to limit their innings so they don't wear them out when they are contenders again.
Now, you know, Rick Renteria, he's the perfect manager for a rebuild. He has a lot of energy. I mean, yesterday, Fizz, he threw to 3 batting practice groups. Typically, a coach would only throw to 1. That'll tell you he's in great shape physically, but also, you know, former player, but he really has a way of communicating with his players and identifying with them and sharing with them, and he's a perfect rebuild manager.
Throws strikes, too, as a batting practice pitcher.
You have to.
Well, there is Joe McEwing along with Mike Jerschley from the Chicago White Sox and Kansas City Royals meeting with the umpires. Adam Hammery is behind home plate this afternoon. Chad Whitson will be at first base. Mike Winters is the crew chief, and Tim Timmons will be at third base today.
You know, I'm an umpire lover, Fizz, because I appreciate how hard those guys work. And Hammery, he's a young guy. He's learning on the ropes and on the job every day, but these guys give you 100% of what they got. That's all you can ask for.
And the White Sox you were talking about yesterday have had a miserable time defensively. They have the second most errors in the American League with 72.
Yeah, it's not pretty. It hasn't been. Now, they're not saving any runs either. They're minus 50 runs, defensive run save this year. That's 26th worst out of 30 teams. I mean, you know what? They got the chance to rebuild. They got some young guys that are coming, but they're really counting on Anderson and Moncada to do a lot, along with the Brady.
Yeah, in the major leagues, only St. Louis has more errors than Chicago, 72, as the Cardinals with 75 going into yesterday's play. Pretty good crowd on hand, a lot of them from the Kansas City area who came up here to have fun in the Windy City, and also Royal sponsors here on this trip. And for Chicago, a lot of fans celebrating that '93 title team that we talked about earlier.
We love all the fans, there's no question, but we really love our sponsors. Sponsors that come and protect the team, and they support the team through thick and thin like this. This is what it's all about. Great to be able to meet with those folks, say hi to them, you know, have a sody pop and hang out and have a steak here in the Midwest. It's a beautiful thing, Fizz.
Well, it's time now for the University of Kansas Health System injury report. The Chicago White Sox, they've been out with one of their stars, Avisail Garcia, placed on the 10-day disabled list on Tuesday with a right hamstring injury. In 35 games this year, 282 average, 9 home runs, and he is a guy who is going to be part of their future, but he needs to stay healthy. And with their team down 29 games under 500, they're just going to make sure he's 100% when he comes back.
Royals don't mind missing him.
No. Well, here is Lopez. He is making his 19th start this year, over 100 innings of work, a pretty solid ERA at 3.77.
Yes, and in today's modern game, that's good. Opponents hitting 240 off him. 11 home runs have been hit off of him. 7 left-handers, 4 right-handers. But look, you know, don't look up in the zone because he's going to be really strong. But he's got his pink glove on. Fizz tells me he loves his mother, but really he should love his grandpa. We'll get into that later. Hey, get him early and often, because if he stays in third time through, you're not going to sniff him. So far, the league's shown they can't hit him, especially for extra bases, third time through. So get him early. Put some discomfort in him.
As you talked about, he has not pitched in 7 games. They're trying to stretch him out, and allow him to have the necessary rest because he is only 24 years of age. You just got a salute from home plate umpire Adam Hammery.
Look at Whitley. He's taking a good whiff of that bat, especially after you foul it off. He knows he's stepping in that batter's box with confidence. That's body language right there. He's about ready to light him up.
Well, smoke gets in your eyes because they shot off the fireworks, and all of the smoke from the fireworks has drifted onto center field and now beginning to blow towards right center. But this is going to be tough for Witt.
I think
that's a tough hitter's background.
I think that's your breath blowing out there, Fizz. That's what that is. But look,
thank you.
Yeah, you might have to wait. It's windy city, but not too windy now. They got to wait. Yeah, you can see they're waiting for the smoke to clear. Yeah, it's amazing.
Gosh.
Yeah, Whitley's shaking his head. He's going, it's hard enough to see.
Yeah, this guy throws 96 miles an hour average with his four-seamer.
And there's no wonder they wear that thing around their jaw nowadays, man. Be careful. That ball's coming in there. Be careful. Whitley, is he going to get him early? Who knows? That's
ball one.
Hard ride at 93. Remember, told you he's going to be strong. He's going to be strong up in the zone.
His last start was on Friday. He lost at Houston 11-4. Gave up 3 runs in 4 2/3, but threw a ton of pitches, and that's why he was taken out. And there's a base hit for Witt.
Look for 2.
He's now hit in 14 of his last 15. Wide turn, but holds at first base.
Fizz, there's nothing better for a hitter. Once he puts the bat down to become a runner, he's all over this. He's going to make the outfielders stop him. You're going all the way to second base in your mind, mentally and physically, until he catches the ball and stops you from going. And this is exactly what we're going to see here with him.
Do you think this might be a game the Royals will be more aggressive running?
It will be, because Lopez has had some issues this year. He's allowed 11 stolen bases this season. That's tied for 7th most in Major League Baseball. And Kevin Smith hasn't exactly had a lot of success either. Catcher throwing runners out.
0 for 18. He has not thrown a runner out this year.
So there you go. But you got to get on just like Whitley did. Work your way on.
Chicago's defense shifting for Bonifacio with the second baseman almost directly behind Lopez. And they toss over, and Witt dives back safely. Witt's last 2 weeks almost hitting .450 now after that hit.
Stay fair. And it did.
And it did. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
That third base umpire, our crew chief, or Tim Timmons at third base, he was down on one knee staring to make sure it stayed fair. It did. And that is Bonifacio's first home run this year.
We knew the power would show up on his 46th at bat. It did. But look, this is perfect. I knew it had the distance. And the way he took off out of the box, the hitter will always tell you if it's going to stay fair or not. Now, that ball came in. That's way in on him. He pulled his hands in, short stride. Look at the launch angle. That ball was up there, but he told me with his body language that it was going to stay fair. Just enough.
But Rex, you're right. I mean, the way the ball was drifting inside, you thought the only thing he could do is pull it foul.
Yeah, I know that's a special knack for a hitter, especially young like Bonifacio, to be able to barrel a pitch running in on his hands like that. It took some players years to learn how to keep that ball fair. You're right, they usually hook it foul.
So 2-0 Royals. It's good to jump on Reynaldo Lopez early. Now Mike Moustakas with a 1-2 count.
You see the route the outfielder's taken there? That's Lamar. He wasn't sure. He saw it. Went through the cloud of smoke that's up in the air. Feels good. Remember we talked about it. Keys to the Royals: get him early, because you don't want, he settles in, he gets tougher later. That's a good sign of it.
And Mike waves at an off-speed pitch and strikes out.
Let's take a look at the StatCast. I'm interested in the launch angle here. Now we know the hit speed, that's fine, it's 95, 45 degrees. That's a high launch angle for sure. 348, all you gotta do is hit it 331. It's a big shot for Bonifacio and giving Duffy a lead before he even toes the slab. That's a beautiful thing.
StatCast powered by AWS. Now Salvador Perez with a drive to right center field, but it will stay in play for Leore Garcia and 2 out. Chicago won 9-6 last night, getting 3 home runs from Abreu, Garcia, and Narvaez. The Royals trying to even this series, and here is Duda.
Lopez, he has a good, clean delivery. Nice and smooth. Donnie Cooper, 30 years in the White Sox organization, their pitching coach. He really likes him. Talks about his ability to repeat his mechanics. How he pays attention to the game plan and is able to retain it. It's good stuff.
When that deal was made, I thought it really favored the Chicago White Sox. When they got not only Lopez, but Lucas Giolito, who will start tomorrow, and Dane Dunning, one of their top prospects in the minor league system, for Adam Eaton. And Eaton has not been able to stay healthy with the Nationals.
No, it's unfortunate. He's been really good when he's healthy.
Ground ball up the middle and fielded by Tim Anderson. The Royals get 2 on a home run by Bonifacio, his first of 2018.
Looking for a bus driver, may have found one.
Nothing on the Chicago White Sox. Sox batting order will have Tim Anderson at the top against a left-hander, with Garcia hitting second, then Abreu and Davidson, who's been a monster against the Royals this year with 7 home runs.
Yep, a couple of them against Duffy.
And that was on opening day, where Chicago beat Duffy and the Royals 14-7. Overall, Danny much improved. He's gotten that ERA down below 5. Good pitch there, and gets a swing and a miss. An 0-2 count.
He's already nails. First 2 pitches, you can't place him any better than that.
What are Danny's keys?
Finish strong, Fizz. Finish up the half strong going into the All-Star break, being the guy. When they allowed him, Ned Yost, to be the #1 starter the opening day this year, this is the guy they envisioned right here. That ERA in his last 9. Outstanding.
In there, strike 3 called. He was able to dot that corner at 95 miles an hour.
Not messing around. Hammery. home plate umpire. Like his cha-ching ring up. Right there, a little part of the zone. Out. I think he took karate lessons when he was a kid, Fizz. That's what he looked like he was doing. But look at, that's right where you want to finish. And Anderson, you got to go.
Now Ori Garcia, who was amazing last night, finished a triple shy of the cycle. Here is the Kubota power stats.
He just laid that out there. Went with the pitch. Little small ball. Then he played the long ball.
Yeah, he went double, bunt single, then the home run. Ground ball short, backhanded nicely, tough hop for Escobar, and he throws out Garcia, who was hustling down the line.
Routine for Escobar. Big league shortstop makes that play 9 out of 10 times. Watch him. Gotta get his feet right. You gotta get the feet right, get the glove out front. I love the angle of his elbow and his glove. He's able to pick that cleanly. And of course, if you're gonna be a big league shortstop, you gotta have a hose. Nice arm. Right over the top.
Now Abreu. He had 2 hits last night, including his 13th home run of the year. He'll be starting for the American League in the All-Star game next Tuesday. Game you can watch on Fox. And the 2 hits last night broke a 2 for 33 slide he'd been in. Breaking ball in there. Danny coming out rock solid. How about the first inning for Mr. Duffy? A couple of strikeouts. Looks like he's throwing the ball exactly where he wants to.
Get him some more runs.
By 2, Reynaldo Lopez will face Hunter Dozier. Dozier 0 for 3 with a walk last night. Seen his batting average dip to .210. He almost busted one out. Well, about 5 feet short. Belted one to left center field.
96 right there in the middle. You want to take one. That's good. Get a little timing down. Go up there and swing at the first pitch. He's going to get some more to hit.
Right-handers have had a tough time against Lopez this year, batting just .234. And he makes quick work of Hunter. Out number 1.
Now let's take a look at his pitches. He struck Moose out with a changeup, and he got Dozier to swing at that slider. 9 of the 11 home runs, though, were on the heater. Watch him. Look for that pitch. And try not to miss it.
Yeah, they're only hitting .217 off that slider with no home runs. Now a lefty batter in Alex. Gordon .248, 6 home runs. If the Royals hit a triple in today's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the Kansas City Major League Baseball Urban Youth Academy.
Yeah, 18 triples, believe it or not, have been hit in this ballpark this year. That's a high number for this yard. It's a bandbox. Long run for Sanchez.
Oh, and he makes a terrific play.
Ah, I had money all over the ball on that one. No way. Look at Lopez. I'll tell you what, in Major League Baseball, every single day you're seeing something that you haven't seen. This is an amazing run here. That reminds me of Escobar's long run he ran in Cleveland that time. Look at, he looks down once, not twice, slides in, feathers it. Great catch. That is a beautiful play. Oh, every starting pitcher would love that. Even a relief pitcher loves that play. Saves him some pitches.
Yeah, they talk about his energy and leadership, and it rubs off on everybody else. They think he can be a big part of their future.
Yeah, Goldie was telling me earlier today he had talked a long time with Renteria, the manager. If he had a seed to put on a player's chest on his team, it would be Sanchez.
Orlando with a smash up the middle, but backhanded by second baseman Moncada. Throws him out.
And while it has been a rough year in terms of wins and losses, there's been some really positive news for what could have been a tragic situation. Joel Goldberg back down by the Royals dugout. Had the chance to talk with James Shields this morning as he and his teammates dealt with something that very few in baseball would ever expect to deal with. The brain hemorrhage experienced by relief pitcher Danny Farquhar back on April 20th, and it happened after he pitched. Shields telling me that he walked right by them and passed out. This thing was life and death, but here he was on June 1st with his family, his teammates, the medical team from the hospital that helped save his life, throwing out the first pitch. And Shields was telling me this morning that we were all faced with the possibility of losing a teammate and a friend, and he has hazy memories, Farquhar, and you know, as he was sitting, guys, in the hospital, he didn't really remember what happened from the time he was in the bullpen to the time he pitched and after that. But Shields said that he was still waking up in the hospital saying, I want to throw a ball, I want to pitch, I want to do lunges, I want to work out. Of course, he couldn't do that, but he sent out a social media video last week pitching, working out back at his home. It's not going to happen this year, but the goal is to return next year. Extremely uplifting. Shields and Rick Renneria and others told me to see this guy that Shields called a survivor.
Joel, that is a fantastic story because we were so concerned about Danny Farquhar's health and his future, not only in baseball, but with his beautiful family. And Hud, you know from personal experience what Danny went through because you went through it yourself in Oakland when we were broadcasting, getting ready to broadcast an Oakland Angels game.
Oh, beautiful pitch.
Duffy, meantime, strikes out Matt Davidson.
But, you know, Fizz, it's very humbling. I have a lot of empathy for the family. And just seeing that shot of the kids.
Yeah. Because I remember.
That's a miracle. That's a big miracle that he's survived, number one. And number two, has the chance to be around his kids. Number three, get a chance to pitch a ball again. This is an amazing story. I'm so thankful for them. It can be really rough on the family. And fortunately for me, I didn't have to have any surgery.
But there were miracles that surrounded the return to good health for you because you were alone in your hotel room getting ready to go out to dinner with me, and I had called the room and there was no answer, but you did have the strength to somehow get a hold of the front desk.
Yep, called my wife and I said, honey, I have a headache. And she goes, oh yeah, let me tell you about the headache I got. So, you know,
she had no idea.
Well, you know, wives at home, they got the tough job, Fizz. We're out doing baseball, you know, and having fun and talking about the grand game, and they're at home taking care of the kids, and really, that's a hard job.
No, but you're saying, wait, Jennifer, this isn't a typical headache.
No, she said call the front desk.
Yeah.
And I called the front desk and I said, hey guys, better come get me. I got a bad headache. And it seemed like the minute I hung up the phone, they were there, and they opened the door, and I was sitting on the edge of my bed with my hands on my head, and I said, everything's fine. I just have a headache, and I never lost consciousness. That's one of the small miracles. I never lost consciousness that whole time. They put me in the ambulance outside.
Ground ball third. Moose has it. Throws out Kevin Smith.
And a little boy with up syndrome, I call, with Down syndrome, climbed into the back of the wagon. And he said, he's going to be all right. I just know he'll be fine. And that was a message to me to continue our work with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Continue working with people. And so there was a lot of little miracles involved in my hemorrhage. But to see the Farquhar footage right here has really got me a little bit worked up, Fizz. It's amazing. Thanks for letting me share that.
Oh, absolutely. Moncada 0 for 2 with 3 walks yesterday, but Duffy dealing strikes. Moncada hits one up the middle, and that is the first hit of the game, first base runner for Chicago.
Let's check out the forward around the horn defense. It's nice to see Paulo back. He loves patrolling center field. Now the Royals still have the 4th least amount of errors in the game, and their run support, their defensive run save is not that bad. They're -4 this year. That's 18th out of 30 teams.
Ryan Lamar, who had a couple of hits yesterday. He goes out to the first pitch from Danny. Fastball swung on and missed. Ball skips away from Salvi. By the time he finds the baseball, Moncada with a wide turn at second base. Holds there.
Hard to pick up the ball for a catcher or a hitter sometimes, especially a catcher. So that's where it's important Duffy was yelling. Now Salvi had his backhand turn, wanted to turn his thumbs out on that one, but it didn't work out. So Duffy's yelling and pointing, and so that's big help. Corner infielders, they need to do the same thing whenever a catcher, the ball gets by him. You got to be his eyes and ears.
Lamar takes it low. This is the guy he wants because you had the veteran, the guy who has 41 RBIs next in Sanchez. Lamar has barely been with the club a week. He was signed after the Minnesota Twins designated him for assignment and claimed by Chicago because of their injuries to not only Abisail Garcia but Nicky Delmonico, 2 outfielders. So Lamar on the team, and
he believes he's a big league player. He just has to be patient and find the right opportunity.
Fights it off due to easy play. Comes back to the bag. Shutout second. We head to the 3rd inning of play here in Chicago. Royals by 2. In this game, he'll be coming up 3rd in this inning. Now Alcides Escobar will lead things off, then Merrifield, then Bonifacio. Escobar played center field last night, back at shortstop today. Infield straight up for Escobar.
That's one of the beauties about this game, Fizz. That game last night was not well played by either team. It wasn't. It was long, a lot of pitches thrown. It's just, you know, a little bit of sloppy play. But today, it's a new day, and both pitchers are right on top of their game, and so is the Royals' offense. And Bonifacio giving Duffy a nice little lead with that first home run of the year for him was sharp. Baseball, you put behind yesterday what happened, today's the day. Just a lot like in life. A lot of life lessons learned in this game.
That's one of the great things about it. Let's say you don't play well, you get right back the next day. In football, you got to wait a full week.
Exactly.
You lay an egg. Pitch and fouled off by Escobar.
Basketball, hockey, those are games that are not played every day. Gotta wait. Look at Esky. He's making sure there's no dirt in them cleats. Oh, 0-2. He's going to waste a pitch. Oh, got in there.
just beyond the reach of both Abreu and Moncada. They're sprinting from first and second base. Ronaldo Lopez, who hails from San Pedro de Macorís and the Dominican Republic. It seems like a lot of great arms have come from that area on that island. And that's the #1 sport. Your top athletes play baseball in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
And his family was so in love with baseball that when Ronaldo got to a certain age, was going to play Little League ball for the first time, his grandfather did the ultimate, and there's a base hit to right field. Yeah, and it gets away from the right fielder. Escobar, though, has to put the brakes on as Garcia was able to get to it quickly.
Ball was sinking hard, and Liuri, he came in, hesitated a little, but did the right thing. At least got his glove on it. That ball gets behind him. Esky's having 3 bags, maybe more. So whenever you know as an outfielder, when you leave your feet and you go, uh-oh, I'm not going to catch it, you better at least knock it down.
Now Whit Merrifield, who singled and scored on Bonifacio's home run back in the first.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about his family and how close they are and everything. And I was going to share that, showing the pink glove.
Yep.
You know, he loves obviously his mother, but his grandfather did something special for him. You were telling the story.
He was a farmer, had cattle. He sold 2 cows so he could buy Ronaldo a glove, spikes, and an aluminum bat. 2 cows. And that's all you get? Come on.
That's fantastic.
Good breaking ball there. 0-2 count.
I just love that story. Think about that. Remember when you got your first glove, your pair of cleats, you got an aluminum bat? I mean, that's a special day for any kid.
Hud, I'm still just amazed at how much talent comes out of that little island and has played Major League Baseball.
Weather is perfect for it. That's one of the reasons.
Also, they get the best athletes. They don't play soccer or basketball or football. They only play baseball. And with Merrifield swings and misses, that's the 3rd strikeout for Lopez already. Here's the Jeep drive of the game.
Why not? Watch Jorge. That ball's way in on his hands, and he's able to pull his hands in and barrel it. And by the fact that he pulled his hands in, the ball did not hook by the pole. Didn't get the top end out there. Lopez is saying, ooh, man, that guy's got some skills.
I wonder if he'll throw him a first pitch fastball.
He might. These guys are competitors. Lopez is going to say, here, try it again.
That breaking ball has been really sharp, though. He does throw a first pitch breaker. I thought they might be sending Escobar, only because Kevin Smith 0 for 18 trying to throw out runners, and Lopez with that high leg kick.
Yeah, but you know, Smith, he may not be getting a lot of help from the pitcher. Should steal the base off the pitcher. So in his defense, he might have some guys that take their time getting the ball home, doesn't give him a chance to throw anybody out.
Escobar does not go, and the ball fouled off. A 1-1 count. Esky does have 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts this year. What do you think of Bonifacio's wide stance?
You know, he has really good balance that way. He's spread out, you know, and sometimes, though, that you'll get so spread out that it takes a little bit of your power away. So what they've done with Terry Bradshaw's worked with him to shorten up his stride or his initial stance just a little bit, so it gives him a little bit more load with his hips so he can throw the hands.
Gets that one out to left field, but coming on quickly is Lamar, and back to first base, Escobar.
Let's give you a little idea about his base in his last home run swing. Okay, you watch his base. He's got a wide base between his feet. That's important. But then he's not striding very far inly at all. They call that a toe tap. He's just going up on his toe. He's toe tapping, and then he's bringing his hand. Look at, he's already off his back leg. Okay, there is no air in there. He's off his back leg. He's hitting off of his front side, and he's got a little one-hand takeoff. Barreled it. That was nice. And so little things that you make adjustments with, whether it's your stance, your hand positions, always work in the game, especially when you have success. Now you're saying, okay, I found something.
Well, pep foul, out of play, and it's interesting you say that, because when I look back at old photographs of Hank Aaron or Willie Mays, two great home run hitters, their back foot is always off the ground on one of their home run swings.
Yeah. Roberto Clemente. Yeah. That's called leveraging your front side. That's where you get your power. A lot of guys are taught when they're young, squish the bug. You know, spin your back foot. All the tapes for little kids. Well, that works for young kids, but at this level, you want some pop, you hit off that front side.
Here's a guy with pop. Mike Moustakas leads the club in home runs and RBIs. Struck out swinging his first time up and down 0-1. Escobar hasn't gone yet. That would have been a good pitch to go on, off-speed pitch.
Moose is hunting the fastball. He's going to hunt it. He's going to track it. He's got really quick hands. He's dangerous middle in. He's got slightly open front side. That opens him up. The hips are open just a tad. And he's trying to adjust now with 2 strikes. Escobar cleaning the path, might be a little bit gunky because of the early rain today. Now let's check. Moose is not afraid to go over here. I like that. That 14%, that's big. That's one of the reasons why Moose enters today hitting over 350 or 250. He's hitting for an average, not only for power, but he's not afraid with 2 strikes to go the other way. Keeps the line moving.
You get the feeling they'll keep Escobar at first base to let Moustakas, who has that good power. See if he can hit it out of the ballpark. He had one up.
Man, that's way out of the zone, and he swung in a few of those pitches in Minnesota, but that was a left field swing. He wasn't trying to pull that. He was trying to go the other way. And in my opinion, I'm surprised that teams are not just knocking down the door of Dayton Moore asking them for him, because Moose, he's a polished hitter. His defense is fine at third base, and he's a world champion.
He's a winner.
You can't find many like him.
Ball in the dirt, and Escobar was breaking, so he'll get a stolen base because he was going on the pitch. So they do send him despite the fact that a home run hitter is at the plate, but now a single could make it 3-0.
I'd like to see Ned moving the runners. Kevin Smith tried to block it.
Steal number 4.
Yeah, once you take off and the ball's bounced, they give you the benefit of the doubt because you already left the bag. So they'll give you a steal.
Next pitch will be the 40th of the game for Lopez. Muscles it up the middle. Mancada, quick toss. Barely got him at first. putting the offense on the defensive, and that usually happens when you get ahead early.
That's right. First pitch strikes are key for any pitcher. But when you have this kind of stuff, call the cops. That's not just your average stuff. He's filling the zone with 95 plus. That's above average major league stuff. Hitters got a lot of times 2 chances, slim and none, when he's getting his pitches over.
Well, he struck out 3 in only 2 innings. They had just 1 base runner. That was a slow rolling single by Mercado up the middle. Now Sanchez will lead things off. Leads the major leagues in triples with 9. And a rare 2-0 count from Duffy early in this game. It will be Sanchez, Engel, and Anderson here in the 3rd. 2-1. Duffy gets back in the count at 2-2, and Sanchez is a guy who might be their best defensive second baseman, but because of Moncada, he's forced to play 3rd.
He could be one of their top defensive players anywhere. That guy, he amazes me. He always plays at 100%. Oh,
off of Duffy, he recovers and gets him just in time. Fine play by Danny.
What a recovery. That ball couldn't have hit him more square between the cheeks than any other play. And that ball bounced directly back to home plate. I mean, that hit him squarely. Ned Yost, he should be concerned. Duffy is able to show his athleticism, bouncing off the plate, off the dish, and throwing him out. Oh, he got skills, man. That's nice. And the key of that play for Duffy, don't rub it.
Well, that's the area where there's the most meat on your body.
Believe it.
Even though he's a little thin guy from Lompoc, California.
He's strong.
He is.
Plenty strong. Talk about a competitor. Duffy's competing. Sometimes they get comebackers that hit off their parts of their bodies and you know it hurt them, but they won't let you know it did, and they'll make the play and throw the guy out.
Engel went down to 1 knee to reach for that one. He's still down in the count 0-2, and Danny may go right after him because Engel does have a wide strike zone. He struck out 67 times this year and has not played every day. And he does strike him out with that fastball. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. 4 strikeouts for Danny.
Those Royals fans are loving watching Duffy fill that strike zone full of fastballs. That's right.
Popped up, shallow center, and it will drop for a hit, so Anderson is on. Good pitch, though.
They call that a tweener. That's in between them. Contacts made. There was a little bit of a hesitation for Paulo. Not a lot. He was expecting Whitley to get through it. You see that happen a lot. That's what a hitter's delight.
Paulo just came up the other day when Marcel Herrera went off on paternity leave. Had to fly back to New York, so we will see Herrera after the break. Garcia up. He had that monster game last night. Anderson might be going. He has stolen 21 bases this year, and there's a ball that rolls through the right side, and Witt will not be able to reach it, and Anderson's going to go around to 3rd. HUD, all 3 of their hits have been weak hits. 1 bloop that we just saw by Anderson, and then 2 that rolled up the middle like worm burners.
Yeah, you know what? They're not barreling him, but still, he's got 2 outs. That's the key here, and he's facing their best hitter. So this is going to be a big test for Duffy early in this game. He can get it out here. He can breathe a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, his last start at Minnesota, 4th start this year with 6 innings and no runs allowed. And it was really an interesting battle because he had no ground outs among the first 12 outs, and then 5 of the last 6 outs he recorded were ground outs. He's been able to keep the ball down today and picked up 4 ground outs already. 1st and 3rd, 2 out. In there, strike 2 to Abreu. Got him swinging in inning number 1.
Good call, heater up in the zone here. That's a little too far up.
That set up the change, maybe?
Yeah, he's setting him up for an off-speed pitch for a finish right here.
In there, strike 3 called. Abreu is out. So are the White Sox. Great job by Danny.
Duffy is filling up that zone with strikes, and Abreu, you got to go.
Heroes, and it's about Chris Bryant of the Chicago Cubs. He's a supporter of the Wounded Warrior Project, donated 2015 Players Choice Award to Wounded Warrior Project. Thank you very much, Chris. Great man of service. Salvador Perez bangs one down the line, foul. And one of my favorite moments, HUD, of spring training was Chris Bryant. Did you see the prank they pulled on him where he was down in Mesa and he was doing a hitting demonstration, and they had set him up so perfectly? Perez fouls it off. So the camera guy is all dressed up, mustache and beard, and he's doing the sound check. Well, that guy happened to be Greg Maddux. So the guy was going to throw batting practice to Chris Bryant, got a phone call and was important, got called inside. So there's a shot to left center field, and that's a base hit. Salvi might have 2. No, they're going to have to put the brakes on. Yeah.
Oh.
Now they overthrow, and Salvi, oh, they got him. I thought he should have stayed put at first base. Salvi doesn't think he was tagged.
Oh, well, you know, he put the brakes on after he rounded. It was a good Tommy Hawk swing off of Lopez, a high fastball. Okay, and he put the brakes on until he saw the throw offline. Okay, he touches the base. He goes, no, that's offline. I can make it. Look at the determination in him. He wants it badly. Now he's got to put on some moves. Did he get him? Maybe barely on his right leg. Let's see, a little better angle here. Look at, he put the brakes on. He tried to trick Moncada. Fully stretched out. He just barely got him. That's showing the athleticism and the agility of Salvador Perez.
I still think you've got to go athlete, know thyself.
First base coach can be yelling at him the whole way. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no.
I think they might have had to throw a rope around him to pull him back. Here's Duda.
Okay, Fizz, I think I vaguely remember. So Maddox threw to him?
No, so the audio guy, which is Greg Maddux in disguise, decides, hey, you want me to pitch to you because we're waiting, and Chris Bryant had to go to batting practice. He goes, yeah, sure, go ahead. Do you have any experience? And he goes, yeah, I played when I was a kid.
That's great.
And swing and a miss, and down goes Duda for out number 2. So Maddox pitches to Bryant, and the first pitch, Bryant barely hits, maybe fouls it off, and he goes, hey, that was pretty good. Could you throw me another one? Well, Maddox embarrasses Bryant and finally pulls off the disguise, and they go, oh, man, it's a Hall of Fame pitcher. It was hilarious.
Those things in baseball, they're so great. And again, revolves around laughter.
Can't take yourself seriously.
No, so
but
many.
Greg threw him a curveball, and Chris was way up in front, swung and missed, and he goes, that was pretty good. Where'd you learn that?
Poor Chris Bryant.
Oh, man.
They had him.
Well, he was probably relieved when he found out that it was a Hall of Famer.
Good cut there by Dozier. He's tracking it. 1-1. Hopes he gets another one. First time up. Lopez wasn't too kind to him. Struck him out in 3 pitches.
Fouled off 1-2.
A little ahead.
Good pitch efficiency by Lopez. 50 pitches, trying to finish 4 innings of work. Two and two. Chicago has won 2 straight, 4-0 over St. Louis on Wednesday and 9-6 last night. There you go, kid. Base hit to center field.
The MLB.TV All-Star Sale is here. For $39.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV. Take advantage of this sale.
Now Alex Gordon, who was robbed of a longer plate appearance on a tremendous catch by Sanchez in foul territory for the second out of the second.
You know, can I just tell you how Dozier feels right now? He battled the count after striking out in 3 pitches. He gets over there to first base and he goes, all right, I got a knock. Now let's see if Alice can hit a gapper and I'm going to score. And watching Dozier run the bases this season has been the most impressive thing to me. His base running ability, the natural instincts this young man has. And matter of fact, later in today's game, we're going to do a teaching moment on Hunter Dozier's running skills. teach the young audience out there who's watching this game today the proper way to run the bases after you put the ball in play.
Very good athlete, college shortstop at 6'4", 220. Ball, 1 strike. That's a serious fastball at 97 miles an hour.
Royals had to know that Lopez was going to be strong on 7 days rest.
Struck out 4. 1 in each inning. With the exception of this one. Well, yes, he did get this strikeout, and now he gets his second of the inning. 5 for Lopez. Here comes Danny for his 4th.
Holding a 2-0 lead against the White Sox, bottom of the 4th inning. This last out against Abreu, runners at first and second, or excuse me, second and third. Hit was huge. 4 pitches. He just abused him. And Abreu, he's got to go. Watch Abreu's expression. That pitch was painted down low, and Abreu stood and looked at him and said, "Really? How are we supposed to hit that? You're amazing."
And he gets a swing and a miss from Davidson, and that is our Pizza Ranch for the win.
Another first pitch strike. Not surprised. Coming right at him.
No walks, 5 strikeouts.
So that first home game, when Davidson hit those homers, those 3 home runs, you know, Duffy thought maybe he was tipping his pitches. So he went from the windup to the stretch back to the windup, and really was just out thinking himself until finally, after several starts, he and Cal Eldred, Ned Yost got together and said, you know, let's just get back to your fastball, what got you here. That fastball is a plus pitch. It's above average. Why not just go back to it? And he said, all right, forget about all the thinking. Let's just go back to the bread and butter. And since then, Duffy's been a guy.
Well, he is a guy who gets strikeout number 6 by blowing a fastball right by Matt Davidson. And tomorrow on Fox, Pogba, Mbappe, And France take on Luka Modric and Croatia in the FIFA World Cup final. Coverage begins tomorrow at 9 in the morning. We're streaming live on Fox Sports app. Can't wait.
Who was that first guy? Magua Agape?
Whatever.
He's a player, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Kevin Smith grounded out to third his first time up. Goes after the first pitch heater. That is fouled straight back. Belgium did beat England today in that game for third place. We were watching a little bit of it here in the booth while we were preparing for this game. But I'm amazed at how a sport where there's so little scoring can be so exciting. World Cup has been amazing this year, and Fox has done a great job televising.
It's been great, Fizz. I got to tell you, it's almost can't miss watching. It's a different sport, different game. You know, and it's aggressive. It's a contact sport. I mean, there's a lot of guys, you know, going down in the course of that game, and they're looking to get the penalty. That's what the whole thing is. Get the yellow card. It's a penalty. I thought the strategy was awesome. These teams.
Smith takes it low, and now a full count. Kevin has been hot, 320 average since June 5th. He's been tough against left-handers this year. Open stance. Duffy misses outside. First walk of the game.
Fans, help us take on the Twins and fight hunger on Saturday, July 21st by participating in our Royals food drive. Harvesters, the Royals, and Price Chopper will be competing with Second Harvest Heartland Food Bank and the Twins by bringing donation of canned goods and peanut butter to the stadium. Look for more ways to get involved at royals.com/step-up-to-the-plate. Let's see you out there July 21st with a box of peanut butter.
And Moncada, and he gets a first pitch breaking ball high, ball one. Singled. He was left stranded in the second inning. Danny has given up 3 hits, none of them well struck. Ball one strike. This is a guy you can strike out. He has struck out the most in the major leagues this year, 130 times.
You know, he's awfully young to be able to give up hitting from the right side, Fizz, but you know what? His might be a young man. It's happened before. A lot of guys have given up that right-handed spot. And if you look at his splits this year, that'll make you think about that. He's a hitting coach, but he's a young player. I don't want to.
22.
I understand, but look, he's so good left-handed. Some hitters have given up right-handed. JT Snow was one.
You know, we should find out when he started switch hitting. You know, it's like the Royals have a young man, Blake Perkins, who they acquired in that deal with the Washington Nationals, who just became a switch hitter at the age of 20.
I can ask him. Maybe tomorrow we'll ask him. I'll go check him out. I met him yesterday on Friday.
I'll tell you, that Perkins kid is playing very well. He's with our Wilmington ball club. The Royals have known him for a long time, and last time I checked, he has like over 70 walks already and 70 runs scored. Foul back. That's splitting time. A ball, Washington and the Royals. Beg your pardon, over 50 walks and over 50 runs scored. A ball for Blake Perkins. Breaking ball. Oh, just high. Danny walks back-to-back hitters after he had Moncada down. two hitters, he's had a tough time after throwing a breaking ball that missed, coming back with a fastball also missed.
This is a good opportunity here for Salvi to go talk to him, settle him down a little bit. Of course, Moose is going to join in and try to talk him into some pitch it to contact for a ground ball double play.
Yeah, do you think they'll ask Ryan Lamar to bunt?
Not with one out, Fizz. I don't believe he'll do it with one out. They're going to try to trust him to swing the bat. We showed you his runners in scoring position average. First time up, he had an opportunity. He grounded out to the first baseman, but he's hitting over 250.
Wow. Well, Danny Duffy, who was just filling up that zone, all of a sudden has gotten wild with the last three batters. A pair of walks and now one thrown all the way back to the screen.
Don't forget about the ground ball double play. The
that was going to be a breaking ball.
He just did not have the release point down there for sure. Now he's got to go to pitching. With the runner at second and third, Ned's electing to have the infield play back, so on a base hit they can't score the second runner. So a strikeout would be premium for Duffy. See where they're playing back, so really any kind of contact in here will allow him to at least score one run, but because the defense is back, it gives him more range.
Well, he moves in front after throwing that wild pitch with back-to-back really good breaking balls, off-speed pitches.
It's because the first time through, he set him up by using the dominant fastball, has them all looking for the heater. Strikeout would be big here for him.
Fought it off as he came with the fastball at 95 and in the hands of Lamar. Lamar's first game with the White Sox was on Tuesday. In there, strike three called. A beautiful fastball inside corner right at the knees.
Look at, yeah. Hey, look, you know what? You got to, you want to put the pressure on the umpire with two runners in scoring position and take a call third like that. That's your fault. That's on you, not on the umpire.
4 of the 7 strikeouts have been called.
And he's been calling that all day. Okay, so look, you better be hacking, and if you don't hack, he'll send you back. That's exactly what happened.
6 of the 7 on fastballs, huh?
There you go. Look, he's been calling it all day long. So that's not on Hamari. That's not on him. Hammery.
The Chicago dugout barking at Hammery. Runners second and third. Royals currently lead it 2-0 on a first inning home run by Bonifacio. Duffy trying to keep it there. He has either thrown an absolutely great breaking ball in this inning or one that has been extremely wild.
2 pitches is really all he needs. A fastball changeup.
Sanchez down the line, but hooking and going foul. So advantage Duffy at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Nice play by the Taguchi fan down there. Bo Lottery, that was an inside pitch, and he was way out in front. He hooked it. Bo Lottery says that. There's a Gucci fan.
And Noguchi was the second baseman on that World Championship team for Chicago 13 years ago. That ball struck pretty well. Gordon there makes the catch, and Danny Duffy gets out of 4th inning trouble.
Right man, right spot. The showstopper. It's coming up. You're not going to want to miss this.
Billy Hamilton going up and robbing Matt Carpenter of St. Louis. That is definitely the showstopper.
Oh, man, he looked like Spider-Man. Look at Amir Garrett. How about the pitcher? He's saying, really? Are you kidding? No way that happens. What a catch. That was awesome.
He's a fantastic defensive center fielder. Royals fans here, they enjoyed Bonifacio going deep in the first inning. And now the offense will go to work here in the fifth with Paulo Orlando. He was robbed of a hit and he smashed up the middle. Mancato threw him out.
He hit him. He barreled the ball, that's for sure.
And this is the organization that Paulo grew up in, the Chicago White Sox. Paulo had a limited number of baseball experience growing up in Brazil, but came to the States as a teenager and now drops one successfully into right field. When he's on, HUD, that's where he usually goes.
Yeah, he wants to stay in the middle of the field. That's where he's had his most success. That's a high fastball, but he's able to get on top of it with his top hand roll at the last minute. And you see he's under control, using his hands. He's not trying to use too much hips and get too much power in there. Just lay it out there. Now let's see if he can rip a bag off.
I asked Paulo about growing up in Brazil and playing baseball, and he said it was just in my neighborhood. And there were a lot of Asian families in the neighborhood, and they played every Saturday. So I would play baseball on Saturday with them. And he went into track and field and became a real star in that area in the 220 and 440. According to meters, 200 and 400. But the one thing that Paulo told me that he never realized when he was signed by Chicago and they sent him to rookie ball, he couldn't believe how many games they played. And that was short season. And he goes, and then as you get promoted, he gets more and more games. And he goes, at the big leagues, it's 162.
That extra month, that'll wear down a young minor leaguer as soon as he gets his first big year in the show. It's not easy.
Orlando goes, and they have the hit and run on, and Escobar fouls it back.
High fastball, good try. Esky tried to stay on top of it. But talked about the base stealers that have been successful against Ronaldo this year. 11 steals, 7th most in Major League Baseball. The catchers had a hard time throwing throwing runners out. Kevin Smith. But in Kevin Smith's defense, you know, I talked about the pitchers being slow home. He had a 30% throwing out rate in the minor leagues. So he's got an average arm. But the fact that he hasn't thrown a runner out this year does not play on his arm. That's what I'm trying to say. He's working every day. He's a big catcher. He's 6'4", 230 pounds. So he's working every day on receiving and the transfer from glove to hand. But attack him if you're the Royals today. Get on base and go.
They did not have the hit and run on that pitch.
Sounded like he hairlined his bat.
Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Fans, come celebrate 50 seasons of Royals baseball with the 50th season coffee mug giveaway presented by Subway. The first 10,000 fans through the gates on July 22nd will receive the coffee mug before watching the Royals take on the Twins at 1:15. Get your tickets today at Royals.com. Want to miss that? Like to have that in your cabinet at home, so when you go in the morning and you get you some coffee, you think about the Royals in their 50th season.
Escobar again knocks it foul. He dropped a base hit to the opposite field his first time up, and stole second base. The Royals could not get him home. Only runs in this game because of a home run in the first by Royals outfielder Jorge Bonifacio.
Escobar, he's got an at-bat going right now that he's had success in before. He's going to try to get a breaking ball on the outer half, and he's going to just feather it into right field.
Lopez continues to work Escobar up. Outfield playing Escobar around towards right, with Garcia in a bit in right. Trying to cut off those little flares that drop when he goes to the opposite field.
That one he's going to hit right here. He's staying fastball with him up in the zone, but eventually they'll try to bring a little breaking ball there with a slider. Fastball away. Hit that right field. Good swing. He's on it. He's missing.
The seventh pitch from Lopez to Escobar, about ready to be delivered. He's thrown 64 total pitches, 49 have made the strike zone, only 15 have missed. Check swing, they appeal, he did not go, and it's even. We had a 20-minute delay at the start of the game because of rain.
Hey, that's enough. I'm done with you. That is enough. That's enough.
Yeah, Renteria's getting, yeah, there he goes. It was getting close. Rick Renteria been giving home plate umpire Adam Hammery some problems with ever since Duffy struck Lamar out on a call third, and he's warned him, you gotta like Hammery's patience. He warned him a lot. You always like to be warned instead of just having a quick thumb. And now Renteria, he's got to go. Short and sweet, I like that. He probably has dinner plans. Want to get a head start.
I don't think so. And Paulo Orlando went to second base on a balk.
Yeah, let's show you the balk. It was pretty subtle. Didn't happen much now. Yeah, he moved. He had a little flinch right there. Just a little flinch there, and they called the balk. Okay.
And did he come completely set at the belt?
I think he just twitched. He had a little twitch with his back leg, and he barely. It's not a big deal at all. Now,
and he throws a great breaking ball on a 3-2 count and strikes out Escobar. 6 strikeouts now for Lopez.
He had him set up. All them fastballs, and then I knew he'd pull the wrinkle on him.
So now Merrifield will try and get Orlando home from second base. Paulo with excellent speed.
Escobar wanted to get him over there to third base with less than 2. It just didn't happen. So now Whitley wants to pick him up here.
Ball 1.
You know, right-handed hitters, they've had their way on Lopez. Over his last 3 starts, the right-handers are hitting 360. The league average is 243, so they've been busting him. Let's see if Whitley can get to him here.
2 balls and no strikes. Started him off with a slider, then came back in with that fastball. Merrifield has walked a career high 36 times this year. He's looking to pick up that run from second base.
Yes, he is. 293 average of the runner in scoring position coming in. He's got the ability. Use the whole field. Yuri Garcia in right field. He's shallow.
Pickoff play, and the ball gets away, and Moncada hurt his right leg.
Well, there's a little bit of collision there. Sometimes when the second baseman comes in and the base runner goes to the bag, it's a collision waiting to happen, and sometimes knees will line up, and that's probably what happened. Let's see. Bad throw. He reaches into the runner, and sure enough, knee-to-knee contact right there. Watch the knees collide. That or a Charlie horse. I'm not sure which got him, whether Paulo kneed him with in his knee or his quad, but he's hurt.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was directly on the kneecap or off to the side of the knee when he took that shot from the knee from Paulo.
Sure does. Happens on pickoff, especially a bad throw like that. You can see he's jumping. He's got a little bit of bone bruise there.
Quite frankly, they had the play. Had the throw been a good one, they would have had Orlando picked off.
He's done for the afternoon. Joe McEwen, acting manager, while Rick Renteria got thrown out.
You know, the only thing they have available is Daniel Palka, and Palka, I would imagine, has to go to the outfield, and they're going to have to bring in Ari Garcia, I'm guessing, only because Garcia has played a lot of infield in the past.
That versatility pays off a lot in this game.
And Garcia will be the new second baseman.
Let's take another look at the collision between Paulo Moncada, and that ball might have hit him. I'm not sure, Fizz, if they had their knees hit or what, but that angle right there, let's see what the bouncing ball, let's see what the bouncing ball did. I think it was the ball that hit the inside of the knee. It looked like there was some knee-to-knee contact, but that one hot bounce might have been the one.
Well, that tells you, that it may be what you talked about, a bone bruise. A lot of times when you get your leg is planted and it gets bent back. So Garcia at second base, Palka now in right. Count to Whit Merrifield, 2 balls and no strikes. In there.
When we were watching Herm Schneider, their trainer for a long time, 30 years or more, walk off, and Joe McEwen, he made the body language sign for Palka as somebody around, and you could see him, he laughed when he did that. But that's how they would signal a bullpen guy.
To short, Anderson in the dirt, picked nicely by Abreu. And Ryan Lamar has moved to right field, and Palka is now in left. The only runs of the game provided by this guy back in inning number 1.
That's right. Second hit of the game after Merrifield singled. Pulled his hands in and barreled it. It was a high sky shot. I mean, it just, the only question was it going to stay fair? It had the distance, and it was, fortunately, for Danny Duffy and the Royals.
And it was on a pitch that really looked like the best that he could do with it was pull it foul, but Kept his hands inside that baseball and just shot it down the line.
Didn't hook it. It's the whole key. Drive that bus.
Into left center field. It will get to the wall. He's driving in Orlando, and Jorge Bonifacio has driven in all 3 runs, and now he's going to third and will make it safely.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, he's in a nice little groove. That double he hit late in last night's game knocked in a pair of runs, and now all of a sudden he's saying, I'm the guy, and here it comes. That's a slider. It's a little spinner. Didn't do a whole lot, but he challenged him inside, and he barreled it. Good spot. Will score Paulo Orlando for the 3rd run. But then, as he gets to second base, watch him. He's not done. He's saying, you know what? You throw to the wrong base, I'm going to beat you. I love that aggressiveness right there. Bonifacio, he's showing some skills today.
Yeah, why did they go to second base? I mean, you knew Jorge would make it to second base. There's no reason to throw it to that base. You want to throw it to the base the runner is going to next.
This is the worst fielding team in the game, the White Sox. That's why they're having some issues.
Stock is up, looking for his first hit of this series. He's 0 for 6. And he bangs that one pretty well to left field, but it's like having a beat on it, and he does. Is Daniel Palka for the final out, but the Royals come through with a 2-out base hit by that man, Jorge Bonifacio. The Royals in front by 3. Baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer. Cloudy day in Chicago. We had a 20-minute rain delay before the start of this game, and when it started, that man went deep, and now doubles in another. He has driven in all 3 runs for Kansas City. Now Danny Duffy trying to get it done. He's thrown 71 pitches through 4 innings. Starting the 5th. He's had 1 1-2-3 inning, and that was in the 1st.
Excellent location and change of speeds there by the changeup. Duffy's getting what we were hoping to get, some run support. Now it's not a lot, but it's 3 runs, and he's making it hold up by executing some nice pitches.
And apparently they called it a triple. It was the outfielder's mistake throwing to the wrong base. Bonifacio was shutting it down at second base and then sprinted to third, but they're giving him a little league triple.
Good. Well, you know, Palka, he was the replacement. He's a designated hitter, really. So he went in the outfield. The ball will find you no matter when you come into the game. It's always going to find you early, and it did. And Bonifacio, he'll take the triple, Fizz.
8 strikeouts now for Danny Duffy. Fox Sports Kansas City, Cox Communications, Sports Radio KFH 1240 and 97.5 are bringing Wichita's best fans to the K on the Raised Royal Fan Express on July 21st. For more information, go to royals.com/Fan Express. We got a ton of Royals fans down there. We used to have one of our minor league affiliates in Wichita.
Love to see him come to the K.
Absolutely. Saw a lot of fans from Wichita during our postseasons from 14 and 15. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I mean, all over the Midwest. There's a whole new generation of Kansas City Royals fans that were made during the last great championship runs. No question about it. 14 and 15 back-to-back years for a small market team in the Midwest, almost unheard of. And the rest of the world sat back and watched and said, how are they doing it? Well, they had some contact offense, they had some decent starting pitching, and they had a lights-out knockout bullpen to win. That's how they did it. The rest of the world sat back and was, let's copy their team. Let's do it the way the Royals did it. And that's what we're seeing.
To right field. Long run for Bonifacio and for Witt, and he makes a nice over-the-shoulder running catch in right field.
Yeah, you know, Witt knows by playing the outfield too how to let the outfielder know. He put his glove up about 20 yards from the ball. He had a track. Watch him put his glove up. See how he looked down? I got it. You see him put his glove out there to Bonifacio. Yeah, I got it. And with his speed, that play is missed by a lot of fielders. Call that the Bermuda Triangle down the right field line. Balls fall in there, but not with Whitley. Heads up. The fact he can play outfield and infield gives him a huge advantage over other defenders.
Garcia 1 for 2. His 4 hits in the series. Danny looking for a quick and easy inning. Center field, Paulo, and just as we hoped, Danny with a 1-2-3 fifth has a 3-0 lead. When we come back, Rex Hudler will have a teaching moment.
Let's do it. Don't fall.
As we head to the 6th inning, our Sonic Slam inning, our contestant is Kai Barrett from Kansas City. If the Royals hit a home run out of the yard in this inning, Kai will win $4,600. And if the Royals hit a grand slam into the park in this inning, Kai will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals.
Plus the $4,600.
Yep.
Kai. Oh, too bad.
I don't think you get both, huh?
You sure do. Get it all. Monte, he cashed in.
They get the 25 grand and the 4,600, so you get $29,600.
Believe it. If it's a slam,
Okay.
they clean the table.
Hi, Barrett, we're pulling for you. You have to hit a home run, I believe.
Okay.
And then another player.
The
has to hit
reason
grand slam.
that Almonte and then the money was made was there was a home run hit in the inning and then a grand slam.
Yes.
Okay, my bad. You don't get it all. Sorry, Fizz.
But we haven't had a home run in the 6th inning. Well, remember, we started $100 and then go up to 2. We made it up to $4,600, so we are due. The percentages are with us.
No question.
Monte was able to hand a check of 25 grand to a young lady, Shawnee. Says, don't talk about it.
No, I'm just excited for Kai. Kai has a chance here. Oh, those high fastballs, Duda likes those. You haven't given them away in a while. The money, you got to give the kick.
Duda has grounded out and struck out. Lopez next pitch will be his 80th.
You know, it's fun to give away money as long as it's not ours. I just got excited. I got to apologize to Kai.
Well, time for a teaching moment from Professor Hudler on base running.
Yep. Dozier hit a triple in Minnesota that was nice. He barreled it. But once you're a hitter, you're done. You drop the bat, you're a runner. Watch him, okay? He's going to hit first base, but he's got to see it. He looks once, he looks twice. There's the second look. Hit the inside part of the base. It makes you turn. Now he's going to look at second once. There's one look at second where he's going. He's making up his mind whether he's going to go to third base. He looks twice. Hits the inside part of the base. Wasn't even looking when he stepped on the base. And there he was. Jersey said safe. Love the technique. Love the fact that you got, you run the bases. You have to make up your mind whether you're going to go for 2 or not. And Dozier's instincts are off the charts. But you have to be able to hit the ball that far to make something like that happen. I loved how he ran the bases, and fundamentally correct. Too bad. Right at it.
Right to Garcia, a 1-2-3 inning for Lopez. Royals lead at 3-0. Bottom of number 6. Celebrated the 1993 team that won the division title. Frank Thomas, Bo Jackson, of course Tim Raines and Ozzie Guillen.
It's Blackjack.
Jack McDowell won the Cy Young that year with 22 victories. That was a special team, although they would lose to the eventual world champion Toronto Blue Jays. Dave Stewart won 2 games in that terrific postseason ALCS.
Yeah, good for the White Sox to make a special day for those great players.
Tim Raines had 12 hits in that postseason.
Brock's amazing. Both sides of the plate, didn't matter.
444.
He's the one teammate that he had a dark finished bat. It was dark, and there was only one spot worn on it, and it was right in the meat of the bat. You know, you saw my bat, I had hack marks from the end to the handle. You know, any place I could hit. He only hit the ball in the meat of the bat, Fizz. It was impressive. That's how great a player, a hitter he was.
Leadoff walk to Abreu. Frank Thomas won the MVP that year. We told you that Jack McDowell won the Cy Young. So our spring trivia question is, name the last 3 teams who have an MVP and Cy Young winner in the same season. Oh, I was just going to, it has to be 2 different players. I was thinking Verlander right away because when he won the MVP and the Cy Young. That Triple Crown season.
You know what? What about thinking the Detroit Tigers with you, Fizz, but Guillermo Hernandez was the closer who was the MVP.
That's right.
They had to have I don't know if that was in Toronto. Did Toronto have Alomar? Maybe
I don't know if Robbie got the MVP.
They had Cy Young. Oh well. Let's keep guessing.
What about Bartolo Colon and Vladimir Guerrero? Did they go back the same year? I can't remember if that was the same year.
It was 05. Alex, get in there.
He does.
Okay, good play. Tracked it nicely.
One big out to start the bottom of the 6th inning.
So the Tigers are weighing heavy on me for some reason. I think that was it. I can't give you exact year, but we don't have to. All we have to do is name the teams, right?
Oh, how about this? How about the '88 Los Angeles Dodgers when Orel Hershiser won the Cy Young, and didn't Kirk Gibson that year win the MVP? And he had above average, but they weren't great numbers. But he was such a leader, such a force on that team.
Eckersley was a Cy Young or an MVP too, wasn't he? That's a tough question. I'm thinking the Tigers for sure. We're going to guess an official Tigers. Detroit Tigers are one of the 3.
You think?
Yeah, let's go. Ding, 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 ding. I had a good feel for them.
And what about the Dodgers?
You want to make that an official guess?
Yeah, let's go with the Dodgers. The Dodgers is not right.
Shake yourself.
We were correct about Hershiser and Gibson, but they were not one of the last 3 teams. There's a ball struck up the middle. Abreu will stop at second base, so 2 on with 1 out. It was the 2013 Tigers with Miguel Cabrera and Max Scherzer. 1 right, 1 strike.
See if Danny can get a little lane ball going here. Polkas, big strong hitter. Duffy's induced 5 ground ball double plays this season. Elka's hit into 5.
Just did graze that outside corner at 95.
Yeah, that's called paint. That's just a little paint in the outside part of the plate.
Tried to do it again, but this time did not locate it well. Maybe if he can keep it down on that outside corner, Polka could get into a twin killing.
That's what Duffy's hoping for. They're playing him pretty much straight up.
In the air, Gordon will have it, and both runners must return to their respective bases. The Chicago White Sox team that won the World Championship in 2005, they had a really good rotation of Burley, Contreras, Garcia, and Garland. But I don't think they had an MVP, did they?
White Sox?
Was Paul Konerko an MVP that year?
He might have been. Go ahead and guess him.
No. That needs a little bit more debate.
Duffy's thrown as many as 113 his midseason against the Yankees. Excuse me, against the Rangers.
Lamar fouls it off. Advantage Duffy at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Duffy's got Lamar last time he was up. Got him called looking with runners at 2nd and 3rd.
Touches 3rd. That'll do it. Good job by Danny. 6 shutout innings.
Standing. Way to go, Duff.
Frank Thomas, 1993. Man, he could go from foul line to foul line and goes opposite field on the line for a home run. 1993, 41 home runs.
Come on, that's Yankee Stadium. He scraped the back of the wall, 315.
Stop.
Fizz, let's go. Now the Big Hurt, he's in the Hall of Fame for a reason. And look at those uniforms. Lefevre likes to give me a hard time whenever they show a flashback of me in those tight unis. That's just the way we wore them.
3-0 Royals have the lead.
Look at Duffy. Duffy's saying, "Don't you dare take me out of this game, Yost." Ned just kind of walked away and just kind of walked away and said, "Okay."
Must be feeling good. He has stranded 7 runners in his 6 innings of work. Meantime, Lopez has received nothing. Gordon with a popper into shallow center field, and out goes the shortstop Anderson to make the catch.
I like that look that Duffy had. Look at him. Look at the scowl right there. He is on a mission. He wants the Royals to get this series, the last one before the All-Star break, and they can't do it unless they win today. Look at the look. It's beautiful.
Meantime, for Lopez, this is the 7th time this year that his team has given him no run support. 7 times. And he hasn't pitched badly. He's gone 6 1/3 and given up 3 runs. Orlando takes a strike.
That'd have been a good one to bunt there. That breaking ball down the bottom of the zone. You can get that down. I think he was just bluffing.
Foul back.
Oh, that's a nice rip.
Well, how about Detroit doing it twice? Did Verlander and Cabrera? And the trivia question: name the last 3 teams to have an MVP and Cy Young winner in the same season.
What about the Cardinals?
And Albert Pujols.
Yeah, and maybe the Red Sox.
Pedro Martinez and like Manny Ramirez.
Yep. There's a few teams there that we might could sneak in before we strike out.
Orlando got that leadoff single in the 5th inning, was balked to second base, and with 2 out, Jorge Bonifacio tripled him home. Royals lead at 3-0. Outside.
Lopez wanted that one. That's a little body language.
Brandon Maurer. Orlando with a drive to left center field, and it will be run down by Adam Engel, who got a good jump. Fans catch baseball's biggest stars for an unforgettable show from the nation's capital. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game, Tuesday at 6:30, only on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Royals sending Salvador Perez for his 6th straight time. Chicago sending Jose Abreu, first White Sox player to be voted in since '93 when Frank Thomas was. Okay, this Lopez really impressive. With 24 years of age, they could have a bright future. Have one of baseball's best minor league systems with all of the talent that they've been able to accumulate. The trades of Sale and Quintana and Robertson and Canely and Adam Eaton and Cabrera and Frazier. So they have gone through some painful times of these Chicago White Sox, and this will be yet another year of that, as they're currently 29 games under 500.
Fizz, you couldn't have given that kid $100 bill and it would have made him happier. That ball right there, yeah.
Got a big league baseball.
Check it out. I watched him. He ran down 3 or 4 aisles and the ball bounced right back up and he picked it up. Check him out now. There he is. See, he's after it. He's heat seeking. That's beautiful.
Yeah, he went down all the way to the screen and then had to run back up. Escobar will fly out to center, and Reynaldo Lopez very sharp. Danny Duffy has been sharper.
Well, he wants it.
Against Minnesota, he has duplicated it. Now he is starting the 7th inning of work.
The out distribution's been perfect. Look at him. He's got the strikeouts, but he's also pitching to contact. That's all part of it. And we showed you the scowl he had on his face when Ned Yost came over and asked him how he felt. That tells you everything. This is his game.
He's thrown 102 pitches. Will face the bottom of the order in Yolmer Sanchez, Adam Engel, and Tim Anderson. In the old days, they didn't worry about pitch count. I mean, and we're not even talking about that far back. I mean, that Chicago White Sox staff that we talked about, they threw complete games and I think every single outing in that ALCS.
Yeah, it's all up to the heart. That heart muscle determines a lot of outcomes. But you know, just like in the open of our show when we did a live open today because of the rain delay, talked about how Duffy has masterfully crafted his pitch selection. That's right. He's able to know, he knows exactly what pitches, what tempo, what arm speed from his changeup, the fastball, the breaking ball, and he's tough on hitters. He's doing it again. I mean, look who he's dealt on the road. At Oakland. Oakland A's, they're a good team. They got some good offense. Houston, at Milwaukee, at Minnesota. These are the teams that he's beating. These are excellent baseball teams, some of the best in the business.
Sanchez lined out for the final out of the 4th. His last time up, stranded 2. Ooh, how about that? Just barely got a piece of it. Danny with a good breaking ball. Bonifacio had him played perfectly. Jorge was in, didn't have to go that far to make the catch.
That smile, he'll have that smile on his face the rest of the afternoon and evening, and he'll wake up tomorrow morning, his face will hurt because of happiness at a ball game. Gotta love that, Fizz. Check this out again. Let's do a replay on the fan. That's why he's our Pepsi fan. And he hustled, went down, went up, and now he can't contain himself. Isn't that beautiful? That's what the game
Joy at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Now his phone's blowing up. All his buddies say, "Hey, we saw you on TV. You caught a foul ball. Bring it back and let's play with it."
I can see his heart pounding through his T-shirt.
Absolute elation.
I want to cry. Chris, maybe twice today. That's beautiful.
High popper, left side. Alex under it. 2 out. Boy, I like the competitiveness of Danny. It's almost like it's him against the dugout. Like, I'll show them. They were thinking about taking me out of the game. No way. This game's mine.
You know what? He might argue to stay back in again. Another inning. Ned chewing his gum with confidence right now. Change up first pitch. Been mixing them up. Fastball, mainly fastballs first pitch. Really, it's just a pleasure watching him pitch today.
Anderson and Alex goes prone for the final out, and Danny points his way saying, "Thanks for picking me up." But what a job by Danny Duffy today. 7 shutout innings. The Royals lead it 3-0.
That stupid hit by Anderson. He can't get a hit out there. That's right.
He went 7 shutout innings and just a remarkable game.
You know, there's an old term that's been passed on through the game over years and years. He bowed his neck.
Yeah, I love the fact that he battled to go back out there for the 7th inning because there was a much thought, because he'd been over 100 pitches, to hold him after 6 and bring him back.
He bowed his neck and he wrinkled his eyebrow at the manager.
Stop right there.
He had a scowl on his
Don't do
face.
any more.
I liked it. And look at him. He's sitting there now and he's just patiently waiting for a W.
Brr. He's got his game face on.
Yeah.
So do you, talking about, oh my gosh. Great competitor, and quite frankly, that's leadership. Going out there when the club's not playing well. They've lost 12 of the last 13, stepping up in 7 innings of shutout baseball. Now Witt fouls it back as Lopez goes back out for his 8th inning of work. Next pitch will be number 100. Most he has thrown this year is 114. That was the beginning of this month. And there's a looping line drive to right field. Well, we're going to go revisit that trivia. Name the last 3 teams to have an MVP and Cy Young winner in the same season. How about the Cardinals and the Twins?
Go ahead now. If you get it, them, great. But if you miss, you struck us out.
Are you going to be angry with me for the rest of the evening?
I'm trying to get over it, just like we do in baseball. You move on.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Cardinals and Twins. Ding, ding, ding. We got it.
Yes. Oh, I might.
Well, with some help from Bonnie. Bonus points if we get to name the players. How about Johan Santana and Joe Mauer?
Are those correct? Ooh, one's right. Santana's right.
Justin Morneau.
That's right. Morneau.
Justin Morneau. I forgot he won the MVP.
Carpenter. We had the right. Way to go, Fizz.
Well, with help from Jeff Montgomery, he was the closer because he came in and said when we were at Target Field, he remembered reading up on the walls that some of the years Witt goes. There's the throw. No chance. 17 steals now for Merrifield. Look at the Royals would be running against Kevin Smith.
It's
and
12.
Lopez combination.
12 straight now off Lopez. That's good. You can get third off of him as well. Look at Whitley. He puts that head down at full speed in 2 steps.
How about a 4 RBI game from Bonifacio?
They're looking for a bus driver, and he's hit so far.
He's got the 2 toughies out of the way, the home run and the triple. And now he's bunting. They throw to third. Out! Oh my, what a play.
Oh, I'm thinking for sure that's the wrong move to try to get Whitley at third. But he's able to go spin around the reverse way and throw a strike. Look at that. Let's see.
Oh man, they got him.
Bonifacio, you love that, but when you're driving the bus, you got 3 RBIs already. You would like to have seen him swing the bat. That's okay. Hopefully it won't.
Well, you say that only because it didn't work, but what if he drops the bunt and it's first and third? That was a fine play by Lopez.
I would have said the same thing.
You would have? Okay.
He's swinging the bat. He's hot. You don't bunt when you're hot.
Well, let's
a little bit of
see
surprise.
if Moustakas can pick him up.
That's okay. You know what? Hey, you know what? He did that on his own. Thought he could get him over. If the ball would have been closer to the line, it would have worked. But still, you need another hit to get him in.
Lamar is deep and right. I mean, Lamar is probably about 20 feet further back from where he would play Alcides Escobar. Maybe 30 feet further back. Jason Hamill warming in the Kansas City pen. High fly ball to right field. Lamar comes in and he'll make the catch, and back to first base Bonifacio.
Enjoy $5 tickets with Price Chopper Ballpark deals. Available now exclusively through the Ballpark app. Get a $5 ticket for Sunday, July 22nd. Games versus the Twinkies, and be one of the first 10,000 fans through the gates to receive a coffee mug featuring the 50th season logo, presented by Subway. For more information, visit royals.com/ballpark deal. That's the Twins, by the way. Sorry. That guy, he's still pumped. Look at him.
Checking it out. He's spinning the ball like you do on an open.
He's got a big league ball.
Salvi with a swing and a miss and a first pitch breaking ball. This is like a Jose Quintana game. Quintana would pitch well against the Royals and Chicago would give him nothing. No runs.
Well,
big swing. 0-2.
I can tell you that hitting Danny Duffy is not an easy chore. Ask Oakland, Houston, Milwaukee, Minnesota. Those are the last road teams that he's beaten, and they didn't do much off him either. Those are some high-powered offenses. Well, it's not White Sox offense's fault, that's for sure.
Salvi to right field and deep.
Go.
Lamar back to the wall. Gone. Home run.
We were saying last night, it don't take a pull shot to get it out of this ballpark. You can go with it, and fantastic. The first home run to the opposite field this year by Salvador Perez.
5-0 Royals.
Oh man, was that nice. Look at and Lopez, he just flung it in there belt high. Salvi took a nice easy rip and went with it.
And that will be it for young pitcher Reynaldo Lopez, who pitched very well but gave up 5, including 2 home runs to Bonifacio and Salvador Perez.
That insurance is everything the Royals needed.
So it's our Chevy call to the bullpen here in Chicago. We'll be right back. Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Here in the Windy City, the Royals with a 5-0 lead. Chase Fry comes out of the bullpen to face Lucas Duda. He's been really tough on left-handers. They are just 5 for 49 against the kid from Oregon State. That's the school that won the College World Series this year.
88-95 with his fastball. There it was there, 93. He's trying inside.
Overall ERA over 4. A lot of that has been recently. Last 4 outings, he's given up 6 runs in 3 2/3.
Opponents aren't doing anything off him. 183. He's got a slider change curve, big curve to Duda. Yeah, we showed you Duda's swing early in this game. We showed you of him taking a left-handed curveball to left center field in last night's game. See if he can do it here.
Fry continues to work him away. time with the fastball. Jace Fry was a first-team All-American at Oregon State. 11 wins, only 2 losses his final year there, with a 1.8 earned run average. And he gets the strikeout of Lucas Duda. So we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Perez with the home run. Jason Hamill will be coming back for KC. The bullpen brings on Jason Hamill.
Hamill making the transition from the starting spot to an 8th inning role here, and he can do it. He has the capability. He's going to air it out a little bit more. He's saving his strength for just a little bit of short bursts here. Might see some mid-90s fastball, maybe a little bit higher than that. Curve, slider change, he's got them all. Hopefully he can preserve this 8th inning here for Duffy.
And Jason made his first relief appearance since September 18th, 2014 on Tuesday, striking out 2 in a scoreless 8th before allowing an RBI triple to Max Kepler and an RBI single to Robbie Grossman in the 9th.
This guy right here is pesky. Keep him off the base.
Popped him up, foul territory, and Moose has room. That's a big first out.
Fans, join us in celebrating this special season of Royals baseball with the next T-shirt in the 50 Seasons Shirt Series presented by Charlie Hustle. Get the final shirt of the series on Monday, July 23rd, featuring everyone's favorite hot dog derby contestants, ketchup, mustard, and relish. Purchase your theme ticket today at royals.com/theme tickets.
Abreu 0 for 2 today with a walk. He has faced Hamill 8 times in the past and has 4 hits. Hamill had started 112 consecutive times, including 50 with the Royals.
Look at him. He's burying 95. He's a much more confident looking pitcher right now.
And it's interesting you say that, Hud, because after he was touching 94, 95 in Minnesota, he goes, I didn't think I had that in me.
Yep, the key is learning how to warm up when you're in that bullpen, when you're making that transition. You know, you got to figure out what works for you. You know, how many pitches you got to throw. The time that they gave him to warm up was important.
But you get a lot of experience and leadership out in that bullpen with so many young pitchers out there. I like the move. Did he go? He did not. 2-2. Jason with two very good pitches in that fastball mid-90s and the slider. That slider's been his money pitch throughout his career. Just beyond a diving Moustakas into left field. A base hit by Abreu. Rick, we've seen some good defense today.
Both teams, watch Escobar. We're going to give a little love to both sides today. You know, it's not easy. Sanchez, this is off the charts here. That's fantastic. Moose coming in. Sets his feet, taps his glove for timing, gets it done. Moncada is able to do that. Whitley calls off Bonifacio and a fantastic running play, and Alex preserved a run in the inning. Lopez makes his own play, helps himself with a perfect feed out over the base for Sanchez. With the application of the tag, Whitley had to go. Both sides doing a good job today. Talked about how poorly the game was executed last night and the difference a game one day can make. It came back today, tightened everything up. We've seen a good ball game, especially if you're a Royals fan.
Here is Matt Davidson. Saw Hamill earlier this year and went 2 for 4 with a double and a home run. Just low. Big strong kid from Yucaipa, California. Just 2 hits though in his last 29 times up, and Hamill wants to keep him quiet.
If hitters could find a cure for the 0 for blues fizz, they would pay top dollar for it. Believe that. But you just can't find a cure. You keep working through it. You hit. You know, sometimes you back off and don't hit. Any way you can find a way to get out of a slump would be worth millions to hitters.
Possibly rule the world.
Yeah, maybe not millions. Maybe how about thousands?
They turned millions into thousands in Chicago, Illinois.
I'm good at spending others' money today.
It's all right. Fouled off. Long run for Bonifacio, who's not going to reach it. Now 2 on with 1 out.
That's one of the ways you get out of a slump right there. Daryl Boston, first base coach, is telling him that right now. He's saying, there you go, young man. It's not how hard you hit it.
But Hamill made a good pitch.
Yeah.
Jason could use a double play right here. We're down to Kevin Smith. Smith 1 for 2 with a walk. Strike 1.
Kevin Smith hitting with the dark glasses when it's sunshine hasn't been really prevalent today. Sometimes that glare, though, helps the hitter. So, kind of stylish.
Vantage Hamill 0-2. White Sox starting catcher Wellington Castillo is on the disabled list. As Kevin seeing more action being called up from the minors.
He's a good hitting catcher, working on his receiving skills.
Little tapper. Salvi wants to take it and throws out Smith. So 2 down. The runners do advance to second and third. Abreu to third and Davidson to second base.
Love the footwork on both ends. First of all, Salvi calling Hamill off. Okay, he says, I got it. And he's impeccable at picking up the ball off the ground. I've never seen a more skilled catcher in that particular area. Watch him. Throws his mask, gets it, and watch Duda. Look at Duda. Just a little transfer with the foot there. That's a nice, easy little do-hop there. And first he calls him off. Look at Salvi. Clears him plenty away. Didn't use his glove to shovel it back into his hand. He's so good with his bare hand. One of the reasons why he wears the gold. And
Now
has worn it.
Polka
Another
and
one.
Salvi wants it and takes it, and that'll do it. Good job by Jason Hamill. Even better for Salvador Perez.
You'd have thought that hitter would have learned something from the hitter before him. You can't make that.
Hey, Bonifacio has been leading the offense, got him going right away in the first with a 2-run homer, 2 batters in, 2-0. And with Bonifacio's triple later in the game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to Kansas City's Urban Youth Academy. We'll be talking plenty about Bonifacio and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Danny Duffy now has 13 straight scoreless innings, and he's allowed 1 run total in his last 5 road starts. We'll talk about him, Bonifacio, and guys, we know how much the offense struggled last month. They have 5 or more runs scored now in 4 straight games. They did that a total of 3 times last month. So the offense finally clicking with the pitching. Monty will be here to break it all down coming up after the game.
Just win, baby.
Yep, can't wait. That gives them a chance for the series tomorrow. That's all that matters.
They got to finish him off. They got 3 outs to go, and they're going to try and add to their total with Dozier, Gordon, and Orlando here in the 9th.
I love Honda stepping up with the cake, with the money for a triple. That's beautiful.
Well, not only that, but for the Urban Youth Academy, which is really important.
Very important. That's what I'm talking about.
I believe I read a story the other day. They produced some really good players already.
Not surprised.
Choosing the greatest sport in the world.
Developing leaders for our future is their goal. In all aspects of life.
Dozier to center field. It will be caught. Hunter out number 1. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. The fans here today. We got a lot of sponsors coming up as well. For Kansas City, breaking ball to Alex, and he takes strike one. Gordon 0 for 3. Popped up, struck out, popped up. Fouled off. In there, strike 3 call, just did graze the outside corner. Willie Peralta has gotten up in the Kansas City bullpen. And now comes Joe McEwing with a couple of right-handers from Topalo and Orlando and Escobar. They want to take Fry out of the game. He did a good job facing 3, retiring all 3.
Super Joe's giving him a little extra motivation.
Leading 5-0, 2 out, nobody on, and Chris Bolstad, a 6'8" right-hander from Palm Beach, Florida, comes out of the bullpen.
Volstad got a sinker cutter to his fastball. 90-93, big curve. Be ready to hit. Opponent's hitting 309 off him. Paulo's had a pretty good afternoon. He's hit the ball hard. All time's up. Got one hit to show for it.
Ball in the dirt. Chris came up as a starter in the Marlins organization. Remember, he was part of a very young staff. I believe Dontrell Willis and Anibal Sanchez were part of that rotation. Strike in the outside corner and a 1-1 count. But he had some injuries and bounced around a little bit. He's in the Royals organization for a short time. A foul out of play. Claimed by the Royals off waivers from the Cubs in 2012, but never was in a big league game with Kansas City. They went to the Angels, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, with the White Sox.
Veteran guy, Fizz. You know what? Did you know that he's a co-owner of 2 different breweries in Jupiter, Florida? Volstead?
Isn't it Volstead the beer that made Milwaukee famous?
Not exactly.
Oh, that's Volstead. Willie Peralta. The 9th for Chicago with the Royals leading 5-0. That means Lamar to start things, then Sanchez, then Engel. And Willie Peralta comes out of the Royals bullpen to try and close it out. He's allowed 1 run in 7 2/3 innings since being called up, and has become the Royals closer with 2 saves. Obviously, this is not a save situation.
No, but they're counting on him to finish the job that Duffy started. He was marvelous. ERA, good. 1.17. Only thing interesting is when he first got in Royals uniform, he walked a few batters, you know, but he's found himself. Good hard fastball, hard slider, change.
He has not pitched since a scoreless 9th inning July 8th against Boston. First pitch in there, strike 1. Good fastball, mid to upper 90s. Against the Red Sox, I remember him issuing 2 walks before getting a double play and a strikeout. Lamar didn't mean to do it, but checked his swing and ticked it foul. Advantage Peralta 1-2. Just low. The White Sox, for much of the early part of this game, were debating that strike zone of Adam Hammery. And Renteria got tossed, arguing balls and strikes. But we haven't heard much barking since. Danny Duffy had 8 strikeouts, and 4 of them were looking. Swing and a foul tip. If it was held on to by Salvi, would have been strikeout.
A couple of young starters we just saw.
There you go. A nice swing and a miss on a good breaking ball by Peralta, and out number 1. For the starting pitchers for tomorrow's final game before the All-Star break. Bert Smith will get the call. Ned Yost told us he'd have him go 50 to 60 pitches, but he said it's basically a bullpen game, and Lucas Giolito will go for Chicago with a very high ERA, 6.5. Now Sanchez, and he'll take a rip at the first pitch he sees and pop it foul, back and out of play, strike 1. Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery will be with you for that pregame show at 12:30. Stay with us at the end of this one because that pair will be along, perhaps talking about that young man and the foul ball that he caught.
He'll still be smiling, I'm sure, and plus gotta get some ice on that face, because when you're happy like that and you smile all day, Fizz, you hurt the next day. That's all right. That's a good hurt, a smile hurt.
It's part of our Boulevard Royals Live after the ball game.
Love that effort that he made. And he's our Pepsi fan of the game.
Emergency hack, just trying to stay alive, and he does.
That catch he made earlier in the game is going to be on a lot of highlight reels. That was awesome. Love the defensive plays we see from these modern athletes, as great as they are, man. Oh, and Hamilton's catch last night, man.
Escobar gets there, twirls, fires, dug out beautifully by Duda. That's an A+ all the way around.
Couldn't have got it out of my mouth soon enough. And look at there, what pops up? Another excellent play by a Gold Glover. Escobar does his little pirouette. He does this in his sleep, speaking of sleep, Fizz, and then Duda digs. Believe it, that's nice. Look at that, ground up. Start your glove on the ground and come up, that's how you pick it. Beautifully done. Both ends. Look at Duda's nice stretch there.
One more out needed. Charlie Tilson is the batter. He's hitting for Adam Engel. Strike one. And he drops a nice breaking ball in the outside corner for strike two. Royals trying to even this series. They lost last night 9-6. Lead today 5-0. Brilliant performance by Danny Duffy in 7 shutout innings. Hamill worked a solid 8th, and now Peralta trying to go 1-2-3 with Chicago in the 9th. Breaking ball, but bounce it in front of the plate. So we'll try it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tilson's battling him.
Yep, you know you gotta like that. You're a hungry ball player like Tilson. You're trying to make a mark with your team, your new team. You're going to fight all the way you can. Scrap.
He struck him out, and the Royals find success on a Saturday afternoon. 5-0. Duffy with the wind, and that man, the hitting star, with 3 RBIs.
3 RBI stakes, and he might just have one tonight in the evening off here in the Windy City. But I loved it. They played with a nice passion today. There was some energy, and nice to see some smiles. Wins haven't been happening a whole lot lately, but it's been good to see. And now they have a chance to win a series game tomorrow. I can't wait to get to the ballpark.
Royals came to the ballpark today with great energy, but really it was led by Danny Duffy, the way he was attacking that strike zone and keeping that ball down, and then just that toughness that he showed the entire team coming back for that 7th inning.
Yeah, I love the fact that, okay, let's check out Bonifacio first. The offensive star in the very first inning, he put 2 on the board before Duffy even towed the slab. That's beautiful. He got up underneath it, nice 47 launch angle there, degree launch angle, and then he's not done. He hits not only a double, but a triple, because polka through to the wrong base. And hey, that's not Bonifacio's fault. That's heads up. Base running. You like to see that. Feel a sense of urgency.
So let's go to the hitting star of the game. Joe Goldberg with Jorge Bonifacio.
And Jorge Bonifacio with the homer. And yes, they gave you a triple, not a double. Don't argue with it. Just take it. A great hitting day for you and the team. How much, I know that the offense has struggled. Does it help